everyone, this is Lady Psylocke signing in. Well, I wanted to share a little bit of an update, kind of where I am, personally, and give some channel updates and whatnot. First of all, I haven't been doing okay. It's been a really rough, rocky week and a half or so. But I appreciate everyone's supports, definitely well wishes, concerns during this time. I want to talk about the stress and trauma and just trying to get over the mental anguish, not only physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually at aspects regarding, trying to get over what can happen post car accident in any event. Especially when it had, when you're not at fault. In this case, there was an at fault driver, someone T-boned us. So I'm so thankful for all the support. And I do have a great support system, but it's not easy, and it's not going to be easy. And I know I've dealt with this fear and anxiety and stress before. And it's really tough. I mean, I can understand now why. No, I'm not trying to say I'm an expert and I understand everything, and I'm a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatnot. I'm not saying that, but what I can say is that me personally, I can somewhat relate to the reasoning and the reasoning and understanding on why someone could become reclusive or be a recluse, especially when it comes to vehicles, not wanting to get in your car, not wanting to drive anywhere, not wanting to go out, for fear of something bad happening. In this case, car accident, something wrong with your car, etc., etc. I've dealt with the same fear before, and it's basically come back. It's reared its ugly head once again because of this. And I wanted to share too, also just because it may help someone. But there's a lot of aspects, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, all of that. So I am working with the law office for a personal injury claim. I won't get into much details, but I can say I am getting the help that I need. I am recognizing that I am struggling, and it's so important to get help. I told myself I wasn't going to cry. And I'm so thankful it wasn't worse. Because it could have been much more worse. It's just. And I've gotten to the point too where, the stress, anxiety, and fear, it's not good, it sucks. And, I'm so thankful and grateful that I am getting the help, and I do have a great support system. And, yeah, so it's just one of those things, we try to understand why things happen, and we may not totally understand it, but it's just right now, it just sucks, it just, and got to the point, I've been struggling this past week trying to figure out, the why and all this and that and the other. I wish it never happened, I wish we never even went on a trip, why. But it's not good to be wondering why all the time. Sometimes you just gotta move forward and, oh goodness, it's just, oh my gosh, it's just one of those things. But you get to the point where you don't want to be reclusive, but at the same time, you're wondering, what if something bad happens again, when you get into this fear and you get stuck in a rut, so to speak. And it's just been a really tough week for me. So I appreciate everyone's continued well wishes, thoughts, prayers, concerns. Like I said, it's not easy at all. And every day is a new day. Some days are better than others. This morning, actually, I woke up at 7:30 on a Saturday when I told myself I was going to sleep in, and I just woke up at 7:30. I was like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, it's like, bam, it hit me. It was just a wave of emotions just came over me, and I was not okay. I was not doing good. But anyway, like I said, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing the best I can each and every day. I have a great support system, and I am, seeking help. I am, moving along with the personal injury claim. Um, it's going to take time, I know, but I'm so glad that I'm getting the help that I need, and I'm recognizing that. Um, and this, like I mentioned, this is not the first time I've dealt with the stress, anxiety, and whatnot. Dealing overall with the aftermath of an accident. Um, it started a long time ago with this fear of things. What if something happens on the road? What if someone hits me? What if something happens? It's car wrecks, whatnot. When I was a freshman in high school, and granted, warning, this is kind of, I guess, a warning for those who have dealt with car accidents, and especially anyone who was involved or knows about MAD, which acronym stands for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. But yeah, so when I was a freshman in high school, the MAD programming came to the high school, and it was the whole entire school, the whole entire high school came to the auditorium. I went to a very small school, so, but they were able to get everybody into the auditorium. Basically, it was half a day of all this programming, talking about MAD and what it stands for, what it represents, helping kids understand the consequences of drunk driving. And, they showed really graphic things. They showed photos, they had a clip, they had a song, Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven. To this day, I cannot listen to that song because it brings back too many bad memories of that moment, me sitting in the auditorium. And they, of course, they didn't tell the parents, we didn't have a permission slip, or anything like that. Of course, nowadays, probably they would have a permission slip or whatnot for parents to sign, if you don't want to have your kid in this scene of, looking at graphical stuff or graphic things, I should say, gory things. But they showed photos of kids, people, particularly kids, our age group, at the time, who all passed away due to drunk driving, and it was horrible. And they did actually also show some car wreck scenes. It was still in my mind, and it gave me a fear of driving. I was not looking forward to driving. And I understand why they did that program. And it may have helped some kids. But it did this really help me. So actually, I got my driver's license when I turned 17. I actually was in driver's ed school when I was 16. I turned 17 when I got my permit. And like all the other kids, when you're 16, 17 years old, whenever you get your license, you're so excited, you want to be free, have your own car, you get to, be free and do things. No, you can't, you're not, you're basically free to do whatever you want. You can drive to places, go do things, hang out, whatever. And although I was excited about getting a car, I was deep inside, I was not happy. I was not excited. Not as much as I could be. So over the years, especially in my late teens and 20s, for over a decade, I was scared. And I told myself, why am I living in this fear? And it got to the point, and at that time especially in my teens and 20s, I grew up in church. And it got to the point where it's like, you know what? I said a prayer and I told the Lord, Heavenly Father, God, universe, at the time, um, what I believed in and whatnot. I just said a prayer and I said, Lord, I can't live in this fear. You're going to have to take it away. And it did help. Whether you believe in God or not, the universe, if you have any belief at all, I truly believe that I still believe in the power of prayer. Um, and that prayer and, just me giving it up, basically, so to speak, just releasing it and saying, hey, like, my thought process at that time was that, if the Lord wanted me or wants me to die in a car accident, so be it. All I can do is control what I can do. Control what I can control, which is myself. Be a good driver, be safe, look both ways, pay attention to the laws, taking care of my car, making sure it's okay to drive, it's okay, it's safe to drive, that kind of thing. So all I can do is what I can do. When I get on the road, if something happens, so be it. And so I just let it go. Like that was what helped me. And so I share this just to give you kind of a perspective, and also to like just the background and why I have been dealing with this for a very long time. Of course, it every time when I have a car accident, and I haven't been in very many car accidents. Like I said, overall, like I'm a safe driver. I try to be, like take care of my car, etc., etc. So, um, there's been one time when the officer said it was my fault, but there was some things going on where the other driver didn't do what they were properly supposed to do. Um, but I've only gotten like two a juror duty. I think it was a deferred adjudication. One speeding ticket. One warning. It's like I haven't been like that crazy of a driver. And overall, I will say I have a good solid driving record. But like I said, in the teens and 20s, that mad programming was the thing that really got to me. And it had haunted me for a really long time. And finally, I was feeling a whole lot better in my early 30s. So yeah, it's just one of those things. And like I said, I'm just sharing this. Hopefully, it helps someone. Definitely, when you have a great support system, it does make things a little bit easier. I'm not apologizing for crying. Um, it's just one of those things. So I didn't necessarily think I would get emotional on camera, but there it is. So, but anyway, thank you for watching. And like I said, I just wanted to share. And I am very thankful, in the future I will be able to get counseling. So I'm looking forward to that. I know a lot of times people aren't looking forward to counseling sessions, but actually, I started counseling right at the cusp of the COVID, or right at the end, I guess, of the COVID pandemic, with some things going on with my family and whatnot. So, um, I will say that it does help. And of course, listening ears, especially like from a professional though. Um, I kind of tend to call counselors professional friends, so to speak. But anyway, thank you for watching. Definitely, I appreciate everyone's support, as I mentioned. And, we'll get to gaming at some point. I do want to get back to Injustice 2 and Injustice Gods Among Us. Also, looking forward to Street Fighter, and some other games along the way with the Retron 3, obviously PlayStation 4. And maybe I'll show some Super Nintendo classic games. That's one of the systems that I have that I'm super excited about, and I've always wanting to get one of those. And so, anyway, but yeah, so I'll show that off here at some point. And yeah, definitely looking forward to the Blue Beetle segment as well with Injustice 2. And with Injustice Gods Among Us, definitely starting the story. I just scratched the surface of that and playing some characters and whatnot, just regular gameplay, but chill gameplay basically. But anyway, thank you for listening, and yeah, I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see y'all later. This is Lady Psylocke signing off.